I remember when people used to see Target as like a upper class Walmart, but the more you peel back the veil of these corporations, you realize they're all the same. Welcome back to the channel. Tune in or ghost out. After getting terrible news and seeing record layoffs in the month of October, companies like Target are seeing the writing on the wall that this holiday season will probably not be a good one. After cutting 1,800 corporate jobs, I think they're going after the floor employees next with this insane rule they just introduced. As more and more people are finding it harder to put on a fake smile, Target has introduced a new 10-4 policy, basically saying that employees have to smile and make eye contact within 10 feet of a customer, and once they're within 4 feet of the customer, they have to ask if that customer needs help. What in the CCP are we doing? I know many people will view this as just customer service. This is normal stuff that you should be doing. But what is there to smile about? Like, imagine getting fired because you don't want to put on the copium mask. This is such bullshit. I don't know any other way to say it. If anyone has watched Idiocracy, this is exactly like the scene where you walk into Costco and the guy's like,
"Welcome to Costco. I love you."
And I'm not saying this is anything new. Forced joy has always been a thing, but there was a little bit of optimism in the past. As someone who worked retail when they were younger, I can tell you that it has gone in the gutter since then. It wasn't really great when I was working it either, but when you take into consideration that the average grocery store employee is around 37 years old, I wouldn't have nothing to smile about either at that point. The only thing that made it bearable when I was working retail was being able to listen to music and mind my damn business. And you know what made me want to quit every single day that I came in and was one of the driving factors of when I actually quit? The customers, bro. At this time, I was only getting paid like $7.25, maybe $7.50. This was back in like 2015, 2016. And I just remember I have nightmares about this sometimes, about just the most random requests from customers. They won't look in the store at all. They'll just find you and ask you the most absurd question. "My bad, Beth. I'm not sure where we keep the chocolate covered jalapenos." "Oh, what's that, Tim? You need me to help you find the Takis that are in the chip aisle that you didn't even look in?" Of course, my fault for not bringing it to you on a silver platter. You know what? Let me punch myself in the face because of that inconvenience. Because if you don't tell them where it is, they're going to berate you for no reason. People always like to make it seem like the employees at the companies have just gotten worse, but do not acknowledge that the customers are also just rude as hell. Before I ended up quitting my job at Kroger, I remember begging for the overnight shift, and it was probably one of the best decisions I made at that job. At that time, we were still 24 hours, but I would see maybe 10 customers all night. I could just go in, stock, mind my business, and leave at 6 a.m. when the crowd comes in. But one thing they never told me at Kroger to do was, hey, when you deal with a customer, make sure you smile. And I'm not gonna lie, what customers even care? Because I know it's not people around my age. We go to the store, we go in and we get out. We don't really ask questions. We go through self-checkout. We try to avoid people as much as we can. And the same thing goes for like millennials or maybe even Gen X. I've never really seen many people come up to me and ask me a question when I was working retail that weren't really old. And I'm not saying all of them were terrible. Most of them were very sweet. We would have nice conversations, but you would always just get maybe 2 or 3 a day that would ruin your entire day. Instead of telling your employees to smile, how about give them something to smile about? I'm about to make a crazy pivot, but with the whole SNAP benefits being cut off, a lot of these companies like Target that abuse the SNAP system really need to get it together. You underpay your workers, make it so that they have to work a job and take SNAP, and then you're telling them, hey, you have a lot to be happy about. Put a smile on your face. But this just feels like they're setting up a goal for themselves. Like, hey, we're going to tell them to smile. We're going to really support in a few months saying that customer service is down. And then we're going to justify the abuse of AI in our systems that don't even really work. Like, this is so crazy coming from a company who was super big on inclusion, dealing with small brands, being better than Walmart. Just to turn around on everybody, send $1 million to the Trump campaign, and then drop DEI. I remember when this happened, and the day that it happened, a lot of people in the comments were like,
"Oh my God, yes, I can finally shop at Target now. They got rid of the DEI."
The day after that, stock literally plummets. It's crazy. And if you don't believe me, go look at their stock price chart. It literally drops after November of 2024 and has gone down crazy ever since. Down 40% in a single year. No wonder they think that friendliness will help boost sales. Nah, what helps boost sales is staying true to your word and not flip-flopping every administration that comes in. But I'm so glad that something like this happened to a Target, because why are you even virtue signaling? You're a grocery store, bro. Instead of reading the writing at the wall that more people are getting sick of the political nonsense going on, they double down and they get punished for it. And because their shareholders in a boardroom are seeing no returns, they're gonna punish the employees for it. You don't get to play identity politics one day, switch to brand neutral the next, and think that the pendulum won't swing. And I know people will point to the fact that the economy is not doing the best as to why why they're seeing a loss in revenue. And that's very true. People are not going to spend their money where they don't think it's valued at or where it doesn't go as far. So when people have to make those tough choices of where they're going to shop, are they going to shop at the place that makes you pay more just to feel better about what you're buying? Or are they going to go to the place that's just cheaper and doesn't play these stupid identity politics? The last time I went to a Target was, I think, June of last year. And it's just literally nothing but, hey, are you a black woman? Hey, are you a white woman? Hey, are you a gay guy? Hey, are you a gay woman? And I have nothing against those groups, but why is my grocery store pandering? Good business will always win, no matter what. And again, I'm not saying that those groups don't have a right to be advertised to. You know what I mean? If you want to be advertised to, it's going to happen. But to play the moral high ground and say that you're so inclusive and then turn your back is so fucking crazy. I have never once went into a grocery store and said, oh my God, I feel so seen and heard. Let me pay $3 extra for this bottle of ketchup. What? This goes back to my point that businesses have really not found a way to grow since the end of COVID. We see these insane returns, but they're not really growing. They're charging you more for the same product and kind of capsizing their entire business. I'm not saying that these corporations need to expand and take over more buildings, because that is just detrimental to small business and the communities that they go in and trample on. But you have to innovate somehow. And I'm not talking about add AI to the shelf or add AI to the self-checkout. Find a way to make the shopping experience better. That's something that America has been known for, is just constant innovation. And somehow, even with the capitalism that's supposed to drive this innovation, we've hit this wall of just nothing changing. And the things that do change are minuscule nonsense issues like smile more, stop DEI. Oh, you're too woke. No one would care about how woke you were if you were giving good deals, good business, and a more innovative landscape. But instead, you're stuck in your old ways. You try to penny pinch every customer that comes through the door, and you only cater to people who make a certain income. When you look at the fact that the average grocery store employee is 37 years old, I'm not trying to be mean to those people, but what do they have to smile about? This isn't the 70s. There's reports saying that you need like $30 an hour to live like normally. A lot of these employees are only making $15 an hour, the ones that work on the floor at least. From my experience at Kroger, they'll only have you on shift for like 39 hours. They'll never pass the 40-hour mark, because that means that you're an employee, a full-time employee that requires benefits. So they play these weird games like only making you a part-time employee, working you as much as they can before they have to give you real benefits, making you turn to the government benefits to supplement what you're not getting, and then expect you to come into work happy to stock a shelf and get yelled at. Why can't we just be happy that they're showing up at all? With declining work rates, I don't think we get to be choosy right now. People like to say that the ball that was once in the employees' court of having way too many jobs and not enough employees has come back to bite them, where we have more employees than jobs. But I don't think people understand how important it is to have a high job creation rate, especially when we're in this situation now where the economy is faltering at every level, and the only sigh of relief that the stock market is taking and riding the high of is the fact that the economy right now is a low hire, low fire economy, which doesn't give people confidence, but it doesn't drive them into fear, because we're not firing at the levels that we are in 2008. But as many people know, the job tracking data falls way behind the reality of the situation. So now that you have Target laying off people, you have a record number of layoffs in October alone, mixed with a slow holiday season and really no solution in sight except turning the money printer back on, you're just going to see more of that Gen Z stare, or the fluoride stare as it was called before, the Gen Z stare. And you know what? You shouldn't smile. If they want you to smile, tell them to pay you more. If they're not going to pay you more, then stack the shelf with an unhappy face. There's nothing to be happy about. But again, it makes sense why Target went MAGA, and they wonder why young people are calling for revolutions like Nepal. This is exactly what I mean by putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. But what do all the conservative Twitter guys say? F-A-F-O. But hey, what do I know, guys? I am a unemployed guy playing Call of Duty, saying my opinion. If you agree or disagree with ending's video, let me know down below in the comments. I do read the comments. I know this was more of a rant than anything, but it's Sunday. I'm gonna go have fun. I hope you have fun. And again, become ungovernable. This path that they're leading you down is a path of destruction and unhappiness and loneliness. The moment you find yourself and decide to take a route that is more conducive to a smile, then you'll actually find a reason to smile more and not be mandated to. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to join the thread. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
Transmission complete. Signal terminating. This is ghostthread, signing off.